I'm Eric Hagan, Marge's nephew, and my aunt was a very special person and very special to me. Of course, I have memories of the family gatherings over my formative years and remember feeling a special affinity with both my Aunt Marge and Uncle John. But I had the rare opportunity of really getting to know them when, as a young green college graduate from the architecture program here at Cal Poly, I was asked by them to design their retirement home in Los Osos. Let me tell you, this was a test. Perhaps more of a test than any I had in my 5 years at Cal Poly. These were not easy clients by any stretch of the imagination. Still, I endured, and it was one of the most memorable and fulfilling experiences in my life. I formed a wonderful relationship with a woman that I adored and admired. A relationship I enjoyed throughout her life and one I will always cherish having. I put together a short poem for today. A keen interest and high expectations. What is the word of the day? How would you spell that? Are you sure of its meaning? I'm not so sure. Better check that, she'd say. She loved to discuss, to converse, to debate, but you were best served with your ducks in a row. I learned a great deal both from her and through her. I learned of myself with the thoughts she would sow. She would grill you for answers, ask tough questions at times, not just spelling or facts, but on philosophy we'd opine. She'd test your intellect to be sure that woman had spice. Then she'd tilt her head slightly, smile, and say, you know, you're awfully nice. I don't have an exact date, but as best my cousins can recall, my Aunt Marge gave birth to a boy, John Martin Sauer Jr., around 1956 or 57. This was my aunt and uncle's third child and their only son. Unfortunately, there were complications. John Martin Jr. would only be with them for about 24 hours. My aunt and uncle did not discuss this often. I can only imagine the pain they must have felt in that loss. As we know, Marge was strong. Julianne and Karen have indicated that Marge never showed them that pain. She apparently moved forward with her life and immersed herself in Julie's and Karen's lives. This is what strong people do. I'm not sure anyone would ever suspect that I'm over 40. Well, I am. In fact, I was born very nearly the same time as John Jr. in May of 1957. My aunt was always very close to my mom and dad, and in fact had special feelings for all our family. But when I think about her today, I can still see vividly in my mind's eye the way she would look at me when we talked. I wonder how often she might have been thinking of John Jr. as we conversed, wondering what he might be like at age 20, 30, 40, or 50. My aunt was very special to me as she was to all attending here. I hope that in a small way I was able to bring her some joy over the years that she likely looked forward to for that short 24-hour period she spent with John Jr. I hope I made her proud, and I hope they have reunited and are making up for lost time.
Anyone else from the family? Hi, my name is Karen Skold, and I am descended from the Hagans who did not leave Minnesota, as is Truman. My mother was Eunice Hagan Beck, who was a double first cousin with Truman and a first cousin with Marge. Mom always referred to Marge as my beautiful cousin, and as we all know, she was beautiful her entire life. We had a wonderful visit with Truman and Marge last August, and it was one of a number of visits that we had back and forth ever since Truman moved to California, it was a real gift to us to have relatives in the same state. Growing up in Michigan, we didn't have any relatives nearby. Although that may have been intentional, I'm not sure. But it was delightful to have Truman, who I'd known all my life, and Marge, who I got to know later in my life, within a 4-hour drive. Truman and Marge came to visit us, I can't remember how many times, in Mountain View, where we live, and we came to visit Marge and Truman in their beautiful retirement home. Well, actually, it was John's, Marge and John's retirement home that Truman was able to enjoy also. So I'm just so glad I had a chance to know Marge. I have a picture that I found of Marge and Truman and my mother, my father, myself, and my two children in Minnesota in front of the inn at Maple Crossing, but which was formerly known as Bunn's Hotel, which was the hotel that the whole family went to every single year, probably from 1920 on, I'm not quite sure. My mom was born in 1920, but she was 6 weeks younger than Marge, and they used to joke about that. So my mom died in 2006, and she was the Hagen that lived the longest of any of them who had the inherited high blood pressure. Now Marge has lived longer than that, and Truman is likely to be the final winner in that generation. So I'm so glad we could be here, and I'll always treasure my memory of Marge.